I believe Joshua will be long-term with the zone, but I won't let it obstruct the big fights.
So does that mean, and I hate, you know, this is a little over my head business, but does that mean if there's more money in the pot for everybody on a Showtime pay-per-view, on a Fox pay-per-view?
Quite possibly.
Does that mean Joshua could...
Show me the money, man. Show me the money.
Quite possibly. Our priority...
So that means Joshua Wilder could happen on Showtime pay-per-view? Could happen
Could do. Our priority is to make that fight. Again, we can make that fight on Showtime, Top Rank, ESPN, The Zone. Our priority is to make that fight on The Zone. Joshua is with The Zone. But I go back to what I said. The ultimate focus for Anthony Joshua is to box Deontay Wilder. And if someone comes up with a load of money, guaranteed money, for it to be on Showtime, so be it. I just believe that the people that are going to come up with the most money for that fight are The Zone. But if I'm wrong, and if there's another opportunity, certainly we'll look at that as well.
Ultimately, would you be maybe also okay with it going to Showtime and Fox because you feel your guy would win? And he'd bring the belts back to...
Look, it doesn't... The difference between this side of the camp and maybe the other side of the camp is I don't make the decisions. I don't even influence the decisions. If you want my advice, you can have it. Anthony Joshua will make the decision. He wants to fight Deontay Wilder. Even if, as people wanted to spin, Hearn doesn't want to fight her, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't talk Joshua into doing something. I don't convince him to do something that he shouldn't. That's for other people to do in other teams. But he wants to fight Wilder. So again, like, he wants that fight after the Miller fight. That's the only fight that he wants. If you have to fight Usyk, so be it. But he wants the Wilder fight next, not 2020, 2019.
Eddie, and just to piggyback off what he said, you mentioned that at the end of the day you feel that the zone's the one that's going to bring the most money to the table, but Bob mentioned something about obviously the zone not having any kind of pay-per-view platform, but can you...
But they don't need a pay-per-view platform because they're paying the money. Pay-per-view is one of those things where it's very easy for me to say to a fighter, this fight's going to do 1 million buys, it's going to do 2 million buys, and then it goes out and it does 500,000 buys. The zone are guaranteeing the pay-per-view revenue. It's a whole different model. So what they're doing in the Jacobs Canelo fight is guaranteeing an amount of buys that is probably not achievable. So for the fighter, it's amazing.
For that fight in particular,
yeah, but for all fights. So it's amazing for a fighter to not have to worry about the pay-per-view buys and sit there and sweat on your check. Do you know what I mean? In an untested market. The UK is very different. I can tell you probably to 5% or 10% what Joshua's going to do for every single fight. In the US, where is the proven models to say that Joshua Wilder does, I don't know, 1.5 million buys? No, but you know, I think it could do 1 million plus that fight. Could. Would I bet on it? No way. I want the guaranteed money for 1 million plus buys. That's what I want.
So for example, Crawford versus Khan's going to be a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
If that one in the zone, do you feel that the money would be better for individuals particularly in that fight?
The key to the DAZN model is paying the rights fee that generally the public will be paying for you. So with no pay-per-view, on a normal pay-per-view night, the public are paying the purses of the fighters. Right? Now, DAZN is saying to the public, you don't have to, we're going to cover that. Right? So Crawford is a big loss leader in my opinion for Top Rank because, I don't know, what does it do buys? 150, 200? Yeah, something like that. But I know what both guys are getting. That's horrific. You know, the financial makeup of this fight is all wrong. So it's not ideal for anyone, but you can't... I've seen the same thing in the UK. For people like Showtime, Top Rank a little bit, you can't give the money that DAZN can give, so you have to go pay-per-view. That's why fights like Spencer Garcia, although it did okay on the pay-per-view, yeah, but really that should be a Showtime or a Fox fight. But they can't afford the rights fees now, so they have to go pay-per-view. I don't blame them. I don't have a problem with the pay-per-view model. What I have a problem with is the price point. Right? In the UK, we're $25 pay-per-view. Over here, you're $80, $90, sometimes $100 for the mega ones. Yeah, but for the mega ones.
Yeah, true.
So that's a lot of money. And I just feel that now you've gone from a stage where you had Wilder Fury in December, you had Pacquiao Broner in January, you had Spence against Garcia in March. Now you've got Crawford against Khan in April. I mean, it's like it's a pay-per-view every month. So as a fight fan, you're being asked to pay $80 or whatever it is a month for one night. And when you talk about, like, Bob's so contradicting sometimes because he'll say, ESPN's the platform, and look at the exposure. And
He says you don't have a megaphone.
no, but he's
ESPN
right. No, the benefit that Bob has is the platform of ESPN. Unquestionably, I'm not an idiot. But what is it doing to the fighters? Like, okay, great, Lomachenko's on ESPN. Is he a star? No, absolutely not.
We don't see him on the First Take program.
You don't see him on anything. You don't see anyone sitting down in a crowd at the gate. That's the ultimate solution and answer to a fighter's profiles. Bums on seats. It's a very straightforward method. So it's all very well getting the profile and the exposure, but how do you monetize that? How do you turn fighters into superstars? By getting that exposure. Terence Crawford. If Terence Crawford walked down here now, do you honestly, I mean, we're at a boxing media night, so obviously people are going to know who he is. Do you honestly think that there would be people down that street going, wow, it's Terence Crawford, wow, follow him around? No. Even the same with Deontay Wilder. I mean, Deontay's getting there. But like Terence Crawford, he's pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world. He's brilliant. I think he's great. He should be, like I've always said about Wilder, Wilder should walk down any major city street and get mobbed by people. He is a great fighter, exciting fighter. He's an athlete, he's a good talker, he's an American, he's the world heavyweight champion. This is the problem with boxing.